Sorry guys, I have this insane janky setup right here to hook up a charger, and I was in the middle of mowing. So how's everybody been this week? Tell me I put the camera on this side. Oh, we got a few here. Look at all the thumbs up. There's more thumbs up than there is people here. You guys are awesome. So who all do we have? Let me look up through here. There's been a few here. We got Rob and Billy and John. I think Turbo was up there. It won't let me go all the way back, but yeah. What's going on, Dan? Dan's here, cool. Yeah, Billy, it's insane, isn't it? It's just crazy. If you ain't out watering all your stuff, it's gonna die because the heat's just miserable. Joseph, what's up from Michigan? Right on. How you doing, Joseph? Steve, what's up, bud? Dan, what is up, Dan? I was this close to doing Dan's video for the other video we were going to talk about, the one he just put out. But I figured I'd save it for a different one. Like maybe I go back in some of his, because he's done some really good ones. I like some of your videos. The editing I can relate to, and the work, I mean, of course I can relate to. So when I feel like I get someone's editing style, it's kind of fun. So. Turbo, what's up, man? I will be running in this rain that we're having in Central Florida. Because yeah, we had some pretty good storms roll through. I can't use that hand at all. That's ridiculous. Roll through here. I had to do this because I have to have the charger poking through, and thank God I got this really cool stand for my phone holder, and I just like laced up a extension cord on it and the charger, and it's got holes on the pincher, so like put a charger through, which I didn't realize. So kind of stoked on that, because usually about the time I'm done with the live feed, my phone's dead. So right on, Turbo, good to see you, buddy. Let me get a little closer. I'm old, I can't read that good, and I'm dumb. Just been hot here too, crazy hot. Where are you at, Dan? Been getting past few days. Yeah, we had it kind of like that, to where it even rained today. We had some little storms that rolled through and kind of rained on us a few times. So, oh no, recognize real, Dan. JC, what's going on? JC, I haven't mailed. Okay, I believe JC is the one that won the book. I take forever to ship it out, and don't know what I messed up on, because I kind of destroyed the package when I opened it, because I thought it was for me, and then I realized, oh my, this is what I sent out. But I gotta send it back out, and I'm just taking forever like an idiot. So my apologies, JC. I would be pissed at me and put the middle finger emoji. What's up, Mike? We got 2 inches of rain yesterday, much needed. Yeah, Steve, the rain we needed, but that's just, I'm not the biggest fan of rainy weather. So Ground Pounder's here, what's up? Yeah, I know. Come on, Billy, what are we eating? It's almost a routine now. You gotta tell us. Steak and bake, but dang it, Billy. Does anybody else want to live with Billy? Because every night. Or maybe Billy just eats really good on Tuesdays. I'm banking on he probably eats really good every night. You do this kind of work, you almost have to. Congratulations, JC. Yeah, JC wanted. It was so long ago, and uh, and I shipped it out. And when it came back, I think I may have not put the right amount of post note or stamps on it, and it didn't even make it very far. And then they tried to drop it off, and they didn't. They said, and then I don't know. I'll get it, and I'll take it into the post office and let them help me, because if not, there'll be something I mess up on it. So I'll do it that way. Oh, come on, I live alone. Damn, Bill, that is awesome. So you cook, you do all the cooking. I do too. So I've just always kind of enjoyed cooking. I actually thought that was what I was going to be, was a chef, and I kind of took a left and ran up a tree one day, and it was over after that. So steak and taters, yeah, yeah. Bologna and fries, right on, Mike. Um, yeah. So did anybody? Did you guys catch the second video from? Um, why do I have brain farts from Reg on his device? So we didn't really get any new information. Um, I did see a couple things that like aren't really discussed, and I'm not 100% sure if I'm right. I'm still kind of banking on the fact that it's a loaded cam, because he's able to pin slack extremely easy, unless it's got could have built-in pulley, kind of like a zigzag. But yeah, I don't. I the thing that I like about it is that the trigger on a gree, the trigger is designed. You have to pull up on it like this, and you're traveling downward as you're pulling up, which is just a weird combination. So it's hard to be dialed in when you're doing that, because it's unnatural to pull up to go down. So if you've ever used a gree, they're very jumpy, and I think that's the reason. Hey, get off the fence! Come on. I think that's the reason for it, is because you're doing the pull up while you're descending. So it's just not a smart combination. I believe they took the rad, and it's a bigger device, but they turned it a little bit. So now the lever that you were pulling upward here, you're now being able to pull kind of down. And it keeps, it from snagging something on the way up when you're traveling up, because usually when you're traveling down, your hand is compressing and covering the device, so it's not such a big deal that something would pull down on it, like on the trigger, as much as you're going up, it, like the handle snags something, and it puts a bunch of slack in, or who knows. But yeah, I just noticed that the way it sets up on 3-to-1 is the only other device I could really say. I mean, I haven't tried the akimbo, so there may be something with the akimbo, but I believe that's still a loaded cam. So that's just kind of what I'm banking on. And then I can't really. I don't know if there was anything else that he did. I didn't really get a chance to deep dive into it, repeatedly watch it, because I picked up those few things, which are very nice. Because I don't know if you understand what I'm saying when I say pulling up, and then your body weight, your weight is traveling down as you're trying to pull up. So you're trying to disengage a cam, which pinches the rope by pulling up and adding force to counteract the weight of your body. So you're pulling up, and it's unreleasing that pinch. You're taking pressure off of it, and it's allowing it to travel on the rope. And I think that's kind of what's going on there. But the smart thing is he's being able to pull down is so awesome. I think it's that it can be dialed in very, very, very nicely and not be so jumpy, which is the scary thing about a gree-gree. So let's get to it. I did. So yeah, I haven't either. Nobody has, I don't think. Yeah, I seen his video. No, I didn't see that. He did put out another one. Yeah, on the John, on the community page for this channel. If you check the community page, um, like when you click on the page, it's got a community board up there, and if you're a subscriber, you can see all that stuff. And I'll post a video on the community page the day before that, and it'll kind of be our first discussion that we like start the live out with, so that we all kind of have something, a topic to start out with. I feel like it kind of lets us travel into the rest of the live a lot smoother when we do that. So that's just something that I've been trying to do. So is it midline attachable? Yes, I think so. I can't. Yeah, he's insane. I think in the first video, if I'm not mistaken, he discussed that and said that it's midline attachable, which is that's yeah, because I discussed that. But a lot of devices now are midline attachable. That's almost like a thing where people are like, nah, like it's such a selling point for a climber. Because like if you're tied in and you're out on a branch and you're way out here and you're extended way the hell out here, and you can put another tie-in on the tail of your rope, grab your tail, pull it up, anchor it above you, anchor down, and slap the gree-gree on midline. You don't understand how that little extra system, no more ropes, same amount of ropes, that little extra bit changes the world of when you're having to make a gnarly cut or something's about to happen where you're about to drop a bunch of weight into the system. So that's where you get a ton of movement. It appears, okay, hang on. It appears to be a hybrid of many different devices. Yeah, that's kind of what I was seeing. I'm really thinking the bulldog bone with maybe the concept of a gree-gree is kind of what maybe, I don't know, you'd have to involve the akimbo probably in there. I don't know enough about the akimbo, but I don't know. It really puzzles me, and I kind of like that this will kind of stir on, and this will go on for a while. He's kind of teasing us, so I kind of enjoy it. It gives us opportunity to speculate and come up with this big, stupid, elaborate story like I got, where I think I know it, and then it ends up being something completely different. So. If Reg is into it, it's gonna be different. Yeah. Yeah, he's a smart guy. He's a smart guy. So if he's putting his name on it and doing a review and stuff on it, it's something special. So. Or if you're running crane work, midline is oh yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah, Akimbo has its place. It's awesome. Yeah, I got that's one on the list that I would like to try. But I also posted, since Reg's video ended up not really giving us any more information, I also posted another video in the community page from Climbing Arborist, and it just basically discussed something that I've talked about for a long time, which is everyone tells you can't, like, all this stuff about multiplying forces and stuff like that when you are running up the structure for like base anchoring and stuff, but like the angle of the force changes everything, and you can get an insane amount of support by playing things in the right direction and in the right order. So That's what he talked about in that video. But the thing that I found real cool about it, and the reason that I went ahead and I put it up for us to talk about, was his the tree he was able to use to demonstrate how much stress it puts on each point. Um, that was cool. I kind of did a similar thing where I did it with rigging rings, and I used a little redbud tree, and it was like 3 or 4 years ago. But and I explained that same thing by it's real nice when you use longer slings too, because you can see that angle, which shows you where the force was, where it was at first you were pulling down onto it, and if the branch isn't straight up in the air, you're playing with gravity now. When you start to get angled out and stuff, now you're pulling down and you're causing stress in weird ways. So when you just see a guy throw a rope up over a branch, unless it's straight up and down, there there's way too much movement, and that point becomes extremely weak, depending on what direction you're pulling. If I messed up, I didn't get to hear the last 5 minutes of the video. Oh no, Rob, we just talked about the stuff from Reg's video, the new stuff where he kind of discussed what if you bump you know, the device and stuff like that. But now, did anybody see the second video that I put up? I didn't know if you guys seen that. And if a video ends up being, usually I won't have to do that because I thought Reg's video was going to have a lot more info into it, and I thought he was going to kind of reveal it, which is me drawing conclusions, which I shouldn't have done because it's not my channel. So for me to think that he was going to spill the beans and let us all know, and this was going to be the reveal, I probably should have watched it first, but I didn't, and I posted it. Then I went back and watched it, and I said, "Oh no, he didn't give us any more information. He answered a couple questions and did a few demonstrations, and that was it." So I was like, so I posted the other video from Climbing Arborist, but I didn't know if anybody's seen that, if that's something that you guys have watched before. Damn, I think 11 thumbs up is the most we've ever had. That's crazy. Well, during the live feed, I do believe. Yeah, you did the same thing. That was a pretty good video. Yeah, Dan. Yeah, it's every one of those. This is what's neat about that concept, is every single time you do a tree, it's going to be different, because no two trees have the same bone structure. The limbs don't go the same way, so it's always an extreme challenge. You could rig little bitty pieces, but if you can take larger sections and make it more efficient by placing things in the right spot and causing it to be extremely stronger up there, and basically you're using every piece to its full potential if it's put in the right direction. If it's put in the wrong direction, you can cause stress to something that's already, has a bad union and get things to break. But when something's leaning like this and you're able to compress it when you're rigging and bring it back, that's safe. Now if something's leaning like this and your rope goes straight up and straight back down and you rig a big chunk, drop it into it, this thing goes wham and will break right here. Now if that same thing, let's say there's another branch over here. So what we did is we ran our rope from the bottom up to here. We ran it up to, hang on, no, we ran it from here, we ran it up this limb, and we put a ring here, then we ran it over to here. So now it's gonna, when it drops the weight, it's gonna pull it back instead of it pulling down. So I mean, that example alone should tell you how much safer it is. You're taking and doing the opposite by the addition of another, rigging point or redirect back here. instead of it coming straight up and over to here, dropping straight into it. So that also, height can change things. So that same limb, if you have that rigging point up here and running down, it's actually going to pull back like and compress the tube. So it's really pulling heavy up here and kind of flexing this section a little more. Now, if you had that a little lower and then it ran up to this, now it's compressing it back into itself. So in some cases that makes it even stronger. So these are things you can play with, and it will totally change the game when it comes to rigging if you just play things right and use what the tree gives you. The tree gives you a good structure. Well, it's best case for rigging. You just have to figure it out. And sometimes you can't use a certain section because it's in the wires, it's over here, it's over there, you know, it's whatever the reason is. So then you have to use a section that you're not so sure on. And that's where knowing how to play that section and use it to add a little strength, they actually like start taglining back to each other. So it's just like if you were rigging off this limb and before you started rigging, you took a rope and you tied it back to this one, now it can only travel down so far. But then it causes major flex up here depending on where you put that rope. So being able to take the whole thing and kind of fold it back and let it flex is the best way in my opinion. I feel like I missed something. I want to get it home. Did I miss the pattern or something? New device. Yeah, that's just kind of what we did on the last video, ground powder. We decided we'll go to the community page and I'll post the video before the live every week, like the day before, and we can discuss that video so we can kind of shine the light on maybe a few channels that people haven't heard of, and it gives us something to start the conversation, you know. I saw it. Looks like a gree. Yeah, it does, ground pounder. That's what I was talking about. But I don't know if you heard it. You have to go back. But I talk about how a gree-gree's jumpy. This device isn't jumpy because they changed the way you pull the lever. Instead of pulling up as you're traveling down, now you're pulling down, compressed like pulling on it to travel down. So it can be extremely dialed in on the descent, which is awesome. I totally thought he was going to give us a lot more info than just. Oh, yeah, Rob. Me too. But you know what? I shouldn't have drew conclusions. That was funny to watch him just beat the piss out of the device. I wouldn't do that to the gree. It wouldn't work because you have to pull the stupid lever up. But the fact he could sit there and just whack at it with a stick, and he would just drop little bits. If you was to compress a knot like that, it would have some sort of a setback too as you compress the system. No matter if it's like a rope wrench or whatever, you compress the system by smacking it, you're going to drop until that expands and bites again. Same thing with a loaded cam. As he smacks it, it releases the pinch a little bit, like lets off in here, because the rope's like traveling up through here. It says lets off, but then his weight pulls back down on the cam here, and it's his weight pulls up from here and mashes it back down. So your weight being on it, and that's why it travels so nice when you're tending it. If you're not under a bunch of weight, you know, you have to add a 3-to-1 to make it kind of work. I seen your video. Yeah, it was I think it was a live feed that it ended up getting way more views than normal live feeds for some reason. But that was more when like rigging rings were new and weren't used as much. I think it was around the time maybe I don't even know if Ben Wright had sent me their ring yet. So Rich says talk softly and whack it with a big stick. Yeah, it seemed like it didn't. Yeah, dude. A lot of times we'll a lot of times go against the lean. Yeah, anytime you can play the lean against itself, you're trying to stand it straight so that gravity is causing compression instead of pull, or I don't even know what the right term would be. If something's starting to lean, gravity's pulling down. If that's something that's like this, the structure's straight, it's compressing on the structure, so that's why it's not so prompt to fail. Um, so just gravity alone. Let's not even talk about all the limb and the weight and stuff like that. That's why sections usually fail. They get to swaying in the wind, and they get to a certain point, the gravity gets enough of it and it fails. So yeah, yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal that I think is extremely hard to explain in layman's terms. So that's why you don't hear it talked about as much. Changing the direction of the force, which is the big thing that I like the way he worded that, the direction of the force. So I really I dug his video. I thought it was really good. And he's really smart. He's a very, very smart guy, so with a very successful YouTube channel. It's not I shouldn't definitely shouldn't be critiquing him. Alright. Thanks, Dan. Ben Wright has been awesome. Yeah, yeah, they're the shit, dude. Um, I believe he is on Instagram as Canopy Craft, maybe. That's how I was in contact with him. I'd seen the ring, so I don't even know where I seen it. And I sent maybe a DM. I think I did. I don't even think I sent an email. And said, hey, how could I get one of them rings? Because like I knew that they were out for a while, but I couldn't find where to get them. And I finally tracked it down, and I'm like, here in the States, there's not a lot of advertising for you guys. I haven't seen anything. I don't know how to buy them. I don't know how to get them. I'll promote the product if I like it, and it works for free. And so if I can, I actually thought maybe I would get a discount and I'd have to buy it, but they said to, which was awesome. And kind of took a chance on me. So if you notice, after I found out that I liked it, I promoted the hell out of it. And I'm sure I've had a part in them selling many rings. So, and I'm kind of proud of that because they hooked me up, which was really cool. So, especially, it was just cool because the channel was even smaller then. And yeah, it was pretty neat. William, what's up, buddy? Haven't caught you live in a few weeks. Stay safe. Yeah, it's all right though. We're just trucking along. I have a video done for you guys, I believe. May go through and do a couple silly edit things or something. Make it not so serious. But fair warning, like I turned the sarcasm up to 100. So anybody who is like in has like a masculine insecurity and they're in this line of work may be offended and they may get mad, and that's okay because my videos aren't hitting anymore. So I'm gonna go to like phase 2, which is like poking everybody and hoping I get response and bring in traffic, because just being a good old boy and everything being, I'm just giving it away, I'm so nice, it just stopped. Like, it was going good and just stopped. So I'm gonna try something a little different and still be me when I do my live feeds with you guys. So, but maybe, I don't know, you let me know if you end up liking it or not. You guys will see it here. Try to put it out, I don't know, maybe tonight. If not tonight, tomorrow. So, basically just me talking about how awesome I am. And then like showing how awesome I am. And when I was editing it, I realized how awesome I was. So, it may ruffle some feathers. Listen, kind of what I was going for anyways. I've seen a lot of his, yeah, Dan, he does a lot of really cool rigging stuff. Things that they will pop up in my feed because I'll do a video on like dual rigging points. You know, I think I called it dual terminal rigging, like, so, because I was using rings to two separate points, and we rigged big sections out over this house, and was able to swing it out and then transfer it to a different tree. And I did all that with one guy. So a lot of places, like, the explanation is going to be different with him because he has multiple guys that can run multiple devices at the same time and much bigger machinery. So even the same topics come out different depending on who you're watching. So what Rob say here? I have an opportunity to get a almost brand new Rope Runner Pro for $200. I already have 2 devices. Is it worth? I don't know, bud. Price, I think. I don't know. Hmm. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know enough about the Rope Runner. I've never used one. It was just the mechanical version of a wrench. So that's why I just never really got into it. But I guess it's different than that, really. I never really thought about it all that much, but it's real similar to like the bulldog bone and stuff, where you're just using pinpoints and sharp bends in the rope to cause enough friction to stop you. So you're compressing them points and taking the stress off the points to the stick. Thing. I don't know. I'll just sit here and do this for 10 minutes. The best one I've seen promoting his product is August. Yeah, he definitely does a lot with it, because originally I remember when he started, he said, I'm not I'm not gonna do the monkey beaver stuff on here, you know. And he has another channel where it's just monkey beaver. So, um, but yeah, he does a real good job of reminding you, you know, because a lot of times you'll have viewers on a video that may be their first time ever watching. So I get why a lot of people will have the same line, one video, an intro, and outro, so it reminds people. But definitely has done a really good job growing the company. I didn't think he ever really wanted to do this much initially. I thought they were just going to make a saddle, and it's been neat to see it grow and turn into like what's like a legit company now, which is really cool. They always have new products coming out. I get a kick out of it. He does a damn good job promoting. I agree. Expert. Have you seen this new guy who started making videos? His harness, Rusty, making videos. His name's Rusty's Tree Care. Maybe it did pop up. I don't know. I haven't. Maybe I haven't seen it. Who said that? X-Ran? As long as you're speaking the truth, there's nothing wrong with it. Appreciate that, John. Yeah, I'm being sarcastic. I'm not the best. I'm not the best. But on this, I don't know. Maybe on this day I was. I don't know. I just thought it was fun. I was enjoying what I was doing that day. So I kind of was my normal self, like I am here with the live feeds during the job. So it came out a little more. A lot of times I'm in work mode and I'm always just kind of so serious when I've always noticed that. Like as it starts, my demeanor, everything changes. It's kind of serious. So on this day, I wasn't taking everything so personal. I was kind of a little bit more chill. So I think it shows in the video. But JC, yeah, we kind of are. Good job. That is awesome, Ground Pounder. Rope runners. And yeah, that's pretty sketchy, scary. The fact they slipped. Hope everyone has a great day. You too, Ground Pounder. Squirrely John. What is up, John? Ground Pounder, if you're taking off, I'll talk to you later, brother. I'm gonna end up cutting this here in just a few, but can't be here too much longer. Oh, well, that's even cooler, Ground Pounder. Yeah. Um, yeah, you got enough people being jerks and being conceited and being self-centered, looking to step on top of you to get to the top. It's nice to run into some people that have some manners. and act like they care about something other than themselves and what they have in their little bubble. There's not very many of them left in the world, so enjoy them when they're around. Ground Pounder's one of them. Exactly, Billy. Another day in paradise. So, tired of this heat. Yeah, I think, like, even when I went to Florida, it was a different heat. It seemed, just didn't seem so humid, you know? Here it is ridiculously humid. It gets tough to breathe, so I don't know. I don't know. This heat's crazy, though. It's very, very crazy. Usual. Wound down for the night. I'll make the kids look very basic. Yeah. Right on. I dig it. I could hear yeah. Yeah, it's and like days that I'm not busy, that I would just be sitting at home, I go from noon because I'm a strong believer in like if you don't use it, you lose it. And if you stay away from something, you can't perform at your best if you just like take long breaks and stuff. So if I'm not doing something, I like to kind of I'll go to the park, the skate park, and just skate nonstop for 3 hours from like noon to 3 and just pour buckets of sweat. And there's not a, like a stick of shade, not even, there's nowhere. There's no shade in that park. It's just blistering hot. So I have got myself a rockin' tan, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's hot. It's very, very, very hot. And I do that and like push it, push it, push it, push it because sometimes you get that hot up in a tree and if you've never been there, you don't kind of don't know how you're going to respond. So I've always kind of been a fan of pushing my body to the limit when I do something, especially if it's like sports related or an active thing, whether it would be working out or just like I don't know, I have like a reflex bag that I'll shadow box and stuff sometimes, just to keep good foot movement. And it's like one of them ones on a pole. It's got that big long spring and it shoots back at you. And I don't know, for a while I got pretty good with that thing. And I just kind of always jump back and forth and keep myself active. Because I've destroyed my body and I feel like when I stop using it, it's going to stop working. And I can't have that happen for another 40 years. I'm not asking much. I just want to still be climbing and skating like climbing trees and skateboarding at, I'll give it up at 75, maybe 80. Guys, I'm gonna catch up on comments and I'm gonna end this. I'm hungry. Eric, what is up? Dang it, every time I end a live feed, there's always somebody that shows up right at the end and I always feel so bad. Dang it, man. What's up, buddy? How you been? He's been rough. Today was amazing. All you want to do, true. He's been rough too. He does his forward back. Leave my life with him. That's awesome, Eric. That's real cool. No humidity today. No, Yeah, yeah, it is. Like I will on those days when I'll go to the park or I'll go to work and stuff. Like on the days I go to the park, I'll drop my wife off at the pool at my in-laws, and she'll tan, and I'll shoot to the park and skate. And by the time when I come back, I look like I've been swimming. My pants and my shorts are soaked, and yeah, yeah. Just think about 3 hours, just hard as you can skate in the blistering sun. Some of them days there wasn't a cloud in the sky either. And sunscreen, a lot of biofreeze, and a couple different braces, and I can still work my way around the park pretty good. Dang, Fred showed up too. What's up, Fred? The month of August is a hot one. And then hurricanes. Um, are you crazy, Fred? Wear long sleeves? You got more of a chance of me getting sleeve tattoos before I'm gonna wear a long sleeve and stuff. But you know what? I have heard people say that, like wearing, covering your body up, like trapped in the sweat somehow, or I don't even know, but it just doesn't seem right to me. I don't wear a shirt, so my shirt comes off the second I get to the park, and I probably don't put it on until I get home, hang around for an hour or so, and then start my live feed, and then my shirt goes back on. So that's what I did for the live feed today. 3 hours. Came home, mowed. Still got a little more to mow. Live feed. Yeah. I enjoy pushing myself and kind of bringing my body to the limit. It feels good when you go to bed at night. You can't stop moving, John. I said the same thing. No, no. I'm a, I'm a strong. I've watched it happen to people, and I just don't want to like think I should have done more then, you know. 'Cause I'm that type of person that stews on it and thinks the worst anyway, and I'm always in my own head. So yeah, definitely gotta push it, and live it up. Yeah. I do a bit tomorrow or something I've been working on. All I can say is something I have been working on. And all I can say is, oh really? That's cool, JC. That's 100% right, Steve. There's a lot of climbing devices out there, guys. There's a lot of them. I mean, there's a guy that subscribed to this channel and a buddy of mine. Well, we don't talk as much anymore, but we used to for a while. And when I started this channel, when the channel was much smaller, um, Joey Cat, he made the Z Runner, which is very similar to the Bulldog Bone, and I think a mix between the Bulldog Bone and the Rope Runner, but it's big and bulky, you know, strong. So definitely could be used. Maybe it's not a climbing device. Maybe it ends up being something else. But yeah, I dig when people try to invent stuff. You know, they get creative because I kind of think of myself as somebody who's pretty creative in what they do, and I'm always trying to change it up a little bit. So you kind of got to get creative if you want to do that all the time. There's only so many different ways you can cut something. Nothing wrong with me. Being confident. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Joseph, what's up? A good diet is a must to keep up with fitness level 2. Yeah, I probably don't have the best diet. I don't have a very good diet, but I eat. But I really only eat, for the most part, one time a day. Unless I don't eat, like, but I'll gorge in the evening. So, you right about that? Get your hurt killed. Yeah, yeah, 100%. I'd be naked before so long, so that's what I'm saying, Eric. Some people, I see people all the time that kids at the skate park wearing like hoodies, and I'm just like, what? How are you doing that? Those same kids are the ones that wear like basketball shorts when it's like below 80 outside in the winter. So, yeah, I know. You gotta say the. I dig that movie, Goose Rubber. Goose Rubber. Where I don't know how long we went around saying no more fudgicles because of that movie. Like, I wasn't very rich, so we wasn't poor, but I wasn't rich. So we didn't have cable or nothing, so we watched a lot of movies. We lived way out in the country. So when I seen a movie, I seen it multiple times. I would rewatch it over and over and over. We were so far out, our satellite, like our antenna, would barely pick up any channels too. So if we were watching TV, which you didn't have smartphones then, you only had TV. Um, you watched a lot more TV back in the day than you do now. So you'd have people standing in front of their phones like me. And my neighbors probably all think I'm crazy in the middle of my yard, yakking to my phone, acting like people are responding back, but it's just me. See you, John. I use zigzag with a rope wrench. Anybody else do that? I know a guy, Eric, that does on occasion. Yeah, I use my zigzag with a rope wrench. Schroeder. God dog it, there he is. What is up, man? You've been kicking out some killer axes. All your um, engraving stuff is so cool. I like the changing of like woods and the handles and your like labeling and stuff. Your mark, like maker marks, are getting so nice. Some of them blow my mind. Like some of the ones you're doing, I could never use. It would have to like, sit there and just be like a viewing piece. So awesome. And the one you sent to me, man, still works so good. It's in the back seat of my truck right now. It's in there at all times. Another day at the office. And I appreciate that, Rob. I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah, isn't it crazy to think of? And you know what's even funnier? Is when I read your comment. This is how my mind has changed already. Even since I was just talking about TV, when I read your comment and it said, this is 2022 minds, your comment said, I remember only having 3 channels. And my brain instantly went to YouTube channel. And I'm like, he had 3 channels? Maybe he meant he only watched, like he was only subscribed to 3 channels. And then it clicked. TV channel. Yeah. I only had like, on a good day we'd have 4 or 5. But on a bad day, or any other day, you got 3 different channels. You got like 2 sometimes, 4 sometimes, 5 sometimes. But I got 9. We got 9 and 11. And channel 9 is like Sesame Street stuff, PBS. So I go outside and I would turn the antenna until we got this TV, and they would holler through the window. Do what you gotta do. One time we climbed to the top of the tree and took the top out of a tree and then put our antenna on the top so we could get better channels. It worked. So yeah, my dad was very creative. Probably where I get it from. I guess did you kick out of the title of the last video? Yeah. I kind of that's my thought, my thought process on it too. And maybe it's a reminder to somebody to take the act of tree work, tree removal, tree pruning, anything as far as cutting or trimming or removing of a tree. Take that process very serious. But don't take viewing that process so serious. There's no need to totally diss on somebody because you would have done it different, in my opinion. That part I don't really get. I think more than anything is I get more offended when I watch something and I can tell that someone's trying to teach me something that they don't really fully understand. That kind of bugs me sometimes. It doesn't if that person's up front and they're like, this is just what I think. I may be wrong. If they're like that, which I find myself doing a lot of times, I'll give you my opinion, but I'm not saying it's a fact. Sometimes I'm telling you it's a fact. If I've done it, used it, as far as like when it comes to the rigging and stuff. But I get more offended when I feel like somebody's gonna get somebody hurt, you know, or giving out wrong information because somebody's gonna take that and run with it. And I think that's where I feel kind of relieved that I don't have such a big channel, because the responsibility of making sure that you're 100% right, because your audience is so huge that you could get somebody hurt by just sharing some knowledge what you thought was right is kind of nice. I don't have that much responsibility, I guess. You guys all pretty much know what I know. Where about you from, if you don't mind me asking, Billy? Yeah, I know. A couple of them were in black and white, Billy. I'm in North Carolina, right on. Where are you at? West Michigan. But yeah, there's something that I want to talk about. Maybe we'll do it on the next live feed. But if I have something to discuss about a channel that's kind of a bigger channel, and especially when it's a channel like I like, I don't want to do like this and like tag them in it and then, be like, he's wrong. So I do want to discuss that there is a difference in the use of like a traditional notch and a humble, which would be more of a flat top, angled bottom, as opposed to a traditional, which is like flat bottom, angled top. Then you have this one, which is a lot of times I find myself using that, especially when you need a lot of travel room before it closes. So I've heard a lot that there's not a difference between a traditional notch and a humble. Um, and I think the reason that there isn't really a difference for some guys is because they're using it at such a height that the butt weight has time to level itself out, and they don't actually see what could happen. Um, Especially when you start dealing with angled limbs and you're trying to get some turn or movement out of them too. The ability of that slanted one for that section to slide off that and let the butt weight get out. When you're doing large sections like oak trees and stuff, they're kind of low sometimes, but big, huge sections. You need, if you was to put a traditional and you have a fence here and you cut this, it's going to come down, it's going to pop off. It doesn't have a 200 foot to let the butt weight catch up. So what happens is the tip touches, then the butt comes back, and it smashes a fence. If you have excessive height, you have 80 to 100 foot, you're not going to see the difference because you're going to fall it. It's going to go tip down, but the butt weight, because of gravity, so much more weight here, it's going to even itself out on the way down. So you're not going to really see the difference. But when you're down low and you put that humble, you get it to come off, and then when it's like this, you get it to come off, and it slides off. It allows that butt weight to slide off and start to travel away from the section, and then it allows it to break off with the tip still up in there, and you're getting it to go away instead of holding on all the way until it closes, and then it stays on it because it's flat. It can't travel off the flat cut, the section. When it pinches down, it can't travel off of the flat section as good as it can travel off the slant. So that's why the humble allows it to get away, especially when you're at a lower height. So that's something I really want to kind of bring up in its own video and probably do a better job discussing it and talking about it. That probably wasn't the best explanation, but something I do want to talk about. Which one of you guys are close to me? I need help, Mom. Right on. Where are you at then? Changing opinions from unprofessional is how we add your knowledge. Yeah, I do what I do. But I think yep, me too. Hey, you just think about it. Doing a technique that you don't have a lot of faith, experience with, even if it's maybe technically a better technique for that specific occasion, the fact you don't have experience with it and the fact that you don't have faith in it is going to change the way it works for you. Now, when you do what you do, which you have experience in and you have faith in, it works so good that you can almost predict the responses because of all your experience. So, having faith in what you do, and maybe not, there's certain times to learn things and try things, and a lot of times on the job isn't the place. So. Great state of Connecticut, right on. I can't make it tomorrow either. It's really freaking expensive here. I can only imagine. Catch me a flight, he says. That's awesome. A humble on taller trees on the side of the crack. The humboldt on taller trees on the side of the crack. You have to explain, like, what? Joseph, maybe I read it wrong. Right on, ground pounder. Yeah, yeah, because there's no, if you got a big stump, that butt's gonna, the tips are gonna touch, and then the butt's gonna come off, and it's gonna slam. You can take a Humboldt and allow it to just slide off there, and it will softly kind of lay to the ground, and then kind of all do the kind of worm, where the bend is at. And a lot of times that's a lot smoother on the tree. Um, the fact when you have the flat cut and the other one's like this, so when this closes, you have potential a lot of times to split the log because it wants to keep traveling, but it can't. Gravity's already taken over and it'll split it here. And I think a lot of times it'll crack the log before it ever hits the ground. The crack has already happened here because the tree tried to go. You still have all your backlog here. You make your back cut, you're into here, and the tree starts to go, and it closes off here. Now it wants to travel off the stump, get away, but it can't. It stops. So then it rips itself up, and then will sometimes slide off, depending on if the end is touching it. So we use the Humboldt a lot. Yep. Yeah, it allows for quicker travel of the log weight. And there are certain times where you need that. So a Humboldt and a traditional notch, they do respond different depending on when you use them. So I guess, like I said, if you're at 100 foot, you use a traditional notch on a tall straight stem and you shoot that off. I think your Humboldt, a lot of times you may get a little further, like the stem, you may make it a little further away because it does slide off and allow it to travel at a bit of an angle, where the traditional one's going to pop off, snap, and then it's going to kind of nosedive, and then the butt's going to come out. That's why that doesn't really matter to some, because I think they're working at such height you don't really see the difference. So. But it does make a difference. There's appropriate times. That's what I was trying to say. Cool. Yeah, because you want that, more of an open mouth. If you can give it more of an open mouth like this, a lot of times the Humboldt's being used because you think about it. You make a straight cut here, you make a downward cut. Now your stump has this chunk taken out of it instead of the log, so you get more log. So originally in logging, they were putting, traditional notch, but then they start thinking, I could put that same notch down, and then I get more log, and it should come off, close up, and slide down that, and gently hit the ground. And it does. But falling with a Humboldt and using it up in a tree, two different things, especially when you're trying to get turn and movement, travel, and there's a lot of weird little things and nuances that, there's a huge difference between the two, depending on the situation. But guys, I've rambled for, oh my god, over an hour. How did you guys listen to me that long? Thank you for giving me your time, like always. You guys are crazy cool. I appreciate the hell out of it. I will. Like, let's see. Say bye to everybody. logging, the money is first. Yeah, yep, yeah. So changing that up from that traditional notch where they were taking a big chunk of the log away, being able to put that downward allows for the log itself to travel a little smoother. Um, but there are times where you're traveling, or maybe you're cutting downhill. A traditional notch may actually work in your advantage because it closes, and you know the tip's going to get there first. So you may want it to, so that you don't hit like a structure here in the middle and snap the log. If you got like a bump in the middle, who knows? There's so many. That's why there's so many different notches. That's why there's so many different techniques, and that's why there's not just one way to do everything, because depending on the situation, different techniques. So far from it, Dan, but I appreciate that. Been a pleasure as always. Thanks, Steve. Dan, thank you, buddy. Um, Turbo, appreciate you guys hanging out. Billy, John. Yeah. Everybody take care. Appreciate that, Billy. You guys are the best. I appreciate the hell out of it. Stay safe, and I'll get that next video out very soon. And we'll see if it chaps anybody's ass. You'll know those new climbers that really think that they're the best because they're gonna leave the best comment. So this may be worth watching in the comment section. See you guys. Thanks again.